Hello again, I'm Michael with Go Be Strong, and this is our next video. This one is called Talents in Action, and our goal here is to learn more about our talents by reviewing our past successes. It's going to give us a chance to further explore our top 5. Let's get started. Let's start with another worksheet, and we can do it just on a regular piece of paper or even just in a Word document or whatever is easy for you. We want to have a column where we have a theme name down the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we want some space to kind of expand on an idea to answer a question. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the questions here. The first one is, how has a theme helped you succeed in the past? So think about something in the last year maybe or more that you're particularly proud of. And it doesn't have to be just work, right? You are more than just your work. So think of something that you're quite proud of, and then look at your list of top 5 and say to yourself, is there one of these strengths that really was instrumental in me having a success recently? And then write the theme name, and then write what was the reason why that theme played into the success that you experienced. So in my case, I have futuristic as my number one theme, my number one strength. And I thought back to, I went kind of far back into my past, and I remembered that unlike everybody around me, I went and I bought a Macintosh computer in 1986. And it allowed me to succeed tremendously in my job at the time. And it allowed me to succeed tremendously when I got to graduate school. And that helped me to get a great job where I, again, was sort of still on the forefront of doing things with personal computers and connecting to the internet. And that, so my futuristic, this part where I live in the future and I see sort of around corners, has been a part of the success that I've had my entire career, because I knew when I saw the Mac, I just said, wow, I've got to put a ton of money into it. And boy, they were expensive back then. And it's going to make a difference in my life. And I was right about it. The next question that we've got is there another way that a theme could be used in your daily tasks? So maybe you've got a theme there, and I want you to, so pick one, any one of them, and just ask yourself, what else could I do with this theme? All right, where else could I apply it in my life? And fill in those blanks. The next one is, which theme allows you to build and nurture relationships? And in my case, I came up with connectedness. It's in my top 5. And connectedness means that you see the connections between things. You understand that everything is connected. And I've said for many years that I believe that life is a team sport. Certainly, I look at that in my family life and in my work life. I believe that we're all in it together, and it's just an approach that I take to life. So look at your themes and see which of those helps you with relationships. The next question is, which theme helps you to get things done? So look at your top 5, pick one of them, and that you think really makes a difference in you sort of getting everything done day to day, and task by task. And then the last one here is there a theme that just doesn't fit at all? Is there something in your top 5 where you just feel a disconnect on the whole thing? In my case, I answered no, but I did say that my learner, which is my number 5, often feels much, much stronger than my futuristic, which is at number 1. In my everyday life, I see learner all over the place. And I see futuristic sometimes. And maybe it's a part of the circumstances that I'm in right now, trying to start a business, and there's so much sort of day-to-day stuff. But so I recognize all of my top 5 and frankly all my top 10. But I do think that right now the order I feel is just a tiny bit jumbled. All right, So go through this same exercise again. Go through the questions and pick a theme and then put down your answer. That'll help us to again start getting our arms around these things and starting to understand what they are and then to claim them. Remember in our name it, claim it, aim it section, we're in that sort of name it, claim it part right now. All right. And here's another worksheet. Again, it's laid out the same. In this case, I don't there's only one question and we're going to use it for each of your themes. So we don't need the questions on the left-hand side. The question is really at the top here. It says, what is a recent situation when you applied your talent? So now you'll put each of your top 5 in that theme thing, the theme column, and then go back and find a time when you use that theme recently. And again, to help you just kind of think through this, I'll go through mine. Again, I said my number 1 is futuristic, and my other project is a software startup. So I am always trying to look to the future. What are people going to do with this software? What are they going to need this software to do? What will their experience be like? What things are changing in the future that we should be ready to accommodate today in the software? So I'm able to use futuristic to see how thousands of people will be able to use this software. My second theme is strategic. And strategic means you can see many choices and be able to whittle them down to the ones that are best. So you're able to see lots of options for different problems. So on that same project that I'm on, my software startup, there are so many choices to make. I have to evaluate all kinds of options. One example is we use different development teams. We've had over a dozen, maybe close to 15 different development teams that have worked on things. I need to maintain good relationships with these guys, but I need to know what they're good at. And because I'll have different projects come along and I need to have that team available to go work on that project. So I need to keep some of them sort of interested, even though they don't have a live project right now, because I think I'm going to need them in the future, and I want to keep all those options open. So I use strategic on a day-to-day basis on my software startup. My third theme is connectedness. This is where I see lots of connections, not just to people, but also to systems. So for instance, let's say your company makes a sale. Well, it made the sale to someone, right? So that becomes a contact, maybe an email address or phone numbers or whatever, but you've got names and addresses and stuff in your contact thing, which starts to impact your CRM systems. It probably impacted your inventory, which has a related impact to your balance sheet. And of course, you made the sale, so you've got some cash coming in. So connectedness helps me to see and understand and keep track of all of the different things that happen from one simple sale and understand how it ripples out to all of these different systems. My fourth is belief. And belief is just a strong sense of what you hold to be true. In my case, it exhibits itself with I have to do the right thing. I just can't lie. I can't engage in deceitful behavior. I can't do something that is wrong. I have to do the right thing, even if I'm misunderstood, right? Even if people are going to say, well, why did you do that? Nobody was going to catch you. You could have gotten away with that. They might think lesser of me, but I can't. Even if they misunderstand me, I have to do the right thing because I genuinely believe that in time, people are going to see that I kept my word and that I was true. And that's that belief strength in me. And I was surprised when it showed up as one of my strengths early on. But now that I know it, I see it everywhere in my life. And the last one for me is learner, which I've already talked about a little bit. Again, it's not a super intuitive thing, but learner just means you love the process of learning. You love going and discovering new ideas. I am super curious about stuff. I love, when I channel surf and I go and I see, an animal show, and then I see a science show, and then I see a home improvement show, and then I see a rugby match, and I go, or a cricket match. I got to know more about cricket. I got to learn about this thing. How does this work? So it comes, it's that's what learner's about. It's all that curiosity. And it shows up for me all the time, every day. There's so much to learn in this business that I'm starting. I've got Python and JavaScript. I've got to figure out servers and backups. I've got user experience stuff. I've got accounting questions. And all of it is growing and changing. And that's what makes me just love the whole project of doing the startup, because there's so much stuff to learn. It just feeds this need that I have to pick up more and more and more information. All right, so the goal here then was to start unpacking our strengths by asking some different questions, right? In one case, we had questions, we needed to find strengths. In another one, we had one question, we needed to answer it for all of our strengths. So that's the idea, is trying to unpack that and get a better sense of it. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at a really interesting report. This is the Clifton Strengths 34 report. So we'll get our first look at all 34 themes that we've got, and the report is much more customized. So we'll get into that one coming up. Until then, what will happen when we think about what is right with people rather than fixating on what is wrong with them? Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, go be strong.